my name's Ellie. Welcome to my channel. We're doing more makeup play. I seem to just be finding more and more ways that my brain is trying to allow me to play with this purple shade. So I want to do a purple look. I want to use the Natasha Denona Love Palette. I want to use Dream, Commitment, and probably some of Trust. These really, really lovely purple mattes here. And I'm going to use those to frame these very, very pretty shimmers. This one is from Shroud Cosmetics. It's their Moonfall Soulstone. I think that's going to be a really pretty dark outer corner. Then we have Hex from Cliana, and for the inner corner highlight, we have Light Chaser, also from Cliana Cosmetics. So, lots of pretty shit. Let's start doing things on my face. I'm gonna do the mattes first, like, you know, I normally would. And then if I have everything set up in a certain way, I think I've got a plan. Okay, I'm gonna start with Dream, and then we will see if we want to really add any depth with Trust. I have eyeshadow primer on, and I've set my crease to brow bone with a beigey skin tone shade that I've made. Oh yeah. Eventually I want to do a very similar look to hopefully how this will turn out with my multi-chromes. I got the Moonfall trio from Shroud, and I really wanted to play with them, and then I got it at the same time that I got the Arcana palette, and I don't know, I got kind of caught up on using the palette, and it seemed, not that you couldn't pair the Moonfall singles with the palette, just that since there are already dark shimmers in, or dark metallic shades in that palette, that adding in the 3 Moonfall trio would not really necessarily add anything super different. And then I went back to work, so I don't have as many days to film stuff, and I'm trying to use my weekdays for panning Franken shadows and Project Pan items, and that I want to get some progress on those, since I didn't use them really during quarantine much at all. The eyeshadows. I used the blush and bronzer and highlight and stuff. But I feel like I could get some good progress, and I do. I have some cool stuff happening on the eyeshadows for when I do my end of May check-in. I actually did my makeup a little wonky today. I put my primer and foundation down, and I skipped right past setting my foundation and put my eyeshadow primer on. So then I had to go back in and try and set nicely around it with my powder and not irritate some stuff. I think I got more powder on my lower lash line than I normally get, because I normally sweep it away and then do the primer for my eyes, and it's gonna affect the way things might sit on my lash line. Okay, I think that is nice. I want to take a little bit of Trust just to see, depending on, oh, that's pretty. It really kind of mutes it down to less of a blue toned purple, more of just like I don't know, feel like Dream is very much a kind of like vibranty pastel shade that is lovely and kind of unique to my collection. I think Trust mutes it and makes it a little more like some other stuff we might have. I'm gonna get a tiny little brush, one of my pointed pencil-y brushes for commitment, so that we can hopefully keep that pretty concentrated. I want that mainly in the crease. I've been really liking the style of keeping my darkest shade almost entirely on the outer half of my crease. I think it's doing cool stuff. I don't know if you guys like it, but it's what I've been doing. And I do think this whole eye turned up a little bigger than I had planned. I'm going to pop a little bit into Dream just to kind of lightly run over the edges. And one of the corners of my eye is watering, so that's cool. We're just going to keep going, because that's what we do. I have plans, so I'm going to start on Soulstone with a flat packing brush. I have, oh, that's so pretty. High expectations, and Shroud has not disappointed yet. Not that I'm expecting them to. I seem to really like their matte and their shimmer formula. I haven't used any of their loose pigments or glitters yet, or like I think they have setting sprays. I'm not that into that side of it. And I think if I were to pick up a loose pigment or a glitter shade, I would probably put down a sticky base. Which would, you know, makes most stuff really, really pretty. So I don't expect to be unhappy with anything anytime soon. Oh, that is a pretty shade. I'm going to take a little bit to run on lower lash line. And then we'll go into Hex. Which I'm going to call right now as might not have been the best tone. This is a very kind of reddy pink toned purple, and Hex is very cool, you know, silvery blue toned. But it's my face and we'll just deal with it. I don't really feel like finding another pink to take it, and I love excuses to use Hex. It is gorgeous. It is one of my favorite pastel duochrome things people make, are those lilac-y taupey gold duochromes, which is this. There's one in the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette, and they're so pretty. For me, there's very few better pastel duochrome colors to make. Moving some stuff around so I can better access the shade. I shouldn't need the mattes anymore. Especially with Cliona's formula, it's very opaque and reflective and So pretty. I found an old tube of glitter glue that I must have gotten as just like a free sample or a gift with purchase type thing. And I realized I had been saving it, being like, oh yeah, when I go through my glitter glue. I don't know why I seem to think it's realistic that I'm going to need another glitter glue. I have, let's see, I have this one that I have had for years, and I use it sometimes, and I use a tiny amount, and I'm not going to need any more anytime soon. Like, yeah, I'll probably have to replace it before I run out of it, just because at some point the formula is going to go bad before I use all of it. I don't use glitter glue in my day-to-day applications. So why am I holding on to a backup when I also have other things in my collection, like cream shadows, like proper cream shadows that I'm trying to kind of use up, that also do a similar thing to glitter glue, that I would need to use up before purchasing another glitter glue. And that's when I realized I make stupid decisions sometimes, and I gave it to my friend, who had no idea what glitter glue was, so now she's gonna have some fun. I do like finding things people haven't used yet and finding ways to give them other options. This is, oh, I forgot what the name was. This is the one I said I was gonna highlight with. It's a very, very reflective inner corner. What do you, Light Chaser. Oh, that was the Dreamweaver bundle. I think both of these are from the Dreamweaver bundle, which was a stunning bundle. So many pretty colors. And that's way more than I thought. Need to blend in the edges. Let me take some leftover bits. I've been putting a touch of the top, since I've been wrapping that darker shimmer shade around, I started putting just like a pop of the inner corner one on the lower lash line, and I've been liking it. It doesn't work with everything, but I do really like doing it with like my Franken shadows. It helps the things all blend together. That is the look. It is big. I like it. I'm into it. I think Hex blended better than I was expecting it to after having put on Soulstone. They are, oh, that's pretty. I really love purples that lean berry toned. I find them very flattering, probably because I have pink tones in the skin, and the pinky readiness of berry toned purples is then complementary to the pink tones in my skin. That would make sense. Oh. Bronzer, Franken bronzer, and then we will use my panning blushes and whatnot, which I think they should match really well. I think I have a plan for highlighter today. I don't always have a plan for highlighter when I'm making out of the ordinary. I feel like I've done a good job of matching my Project Pan base products and eyeshadow to pair really well together. I don't have anything that I feel clashes with the looks or something like that, but when I'm bringing in more fun stuff, like super purple eyes, I wonder if I'm going to need to bring in a different blush or a different highlighter, and so far I'm being reminded more and more that most blush, you don't need nearly as many shades of blush. Honestly, one good neutral blush is probably all you really need, unless you enjoy the subtle changes that changing your blush will do. Like, having a lot of eyeshadow shades makes sense to me because of how close they are and how differently certain undertones and depths and formulas will make different things together, but from panning blush and using the same blush day in and day out on a million different color combinations and looks and outfits, it normally doesn't really matter. Like, I notice if the blush is not there, but even if I'm like off the bat not like super happy with the blush, by the time I'm taking a picture of it and wearing it around the house, blush is blush. It could be that the blush I have is such a good match for my skin tone that it's hard to have it clash with anything I would generally pick for my eye stuff. But blush is blush. Like, it'd be really nice to have a purple blush right now, but I don't think it would do anything too different than just using my Franken ones, which I got pan in it. So this is Argyle and Hot Mama from the Balm. Again, Argyle goes here, Hot Mama goes further back. And they work really well, particularly Argyle. Like, that's cute. That's just very cute. I find it very flattering. Pop it on my nose. I really have been loving blush on the tip of my nose, especially since I have the pale, and I feel like the more ways I can add color to the parts of my face so that I don't look like a corpse, the better. So blush around the temples as opposed to just on my apples of my cheeks. I feel like that is a good choice. Putting it on my nose helps that area not look just so stark in relation to, you know, eyes and blush and lips and all of that. Cute little nose thing. And I'm kind of surprised about Hot Mama. I thought with it having that gold sheen in it that it was going to not pair well with my cool toned highlighters. Like, they were going to do something weird when I layered them, and that has not been the case. So again, I'm coming around to the blush is blush is blush. Oh, where are you? Hiding. I'm getting real close to needing to switch this out with the other one, even though there's more. There's product, in theory, all the way through the pencil, but you get to a point where you can't grip it, and you can't get it back out of the lid, and you can't sharpen it effectively, so you lose product. Similarly to, there's some like foundation packaging that you really can't get into in order to like scrape it all the way down the sides or scoop out any excess product, so there will be product lost. I think that just is something I have to accept about those. They're cheap. Wax pencils for brows are cheap as shit, especially the Sephora ones, and they last for fucking ever, so it's not like you really need to get every ounce of thing out there. It's just, since I figured out all the different ways to get like all the product out of certain things, I get a little sad when I notice something is not going to let me get all the product out of it, even though it's a plenty good value for money deal, even if you lose some product certain places. I'm really into that. I feel like Soulstone is going to be my fun little pop-up product in a whole bunch of different places pretty soon. I need to dig through my collection. I think I've decided after playing with, I think it was Shookington in the Jackie Aina palette, that when I go through the purple that I did Franken, I'm going to Franken that Shookington shade with something else, because a dark shimmery purple I've gotten really happy using. Dark purple and dark like navy blue metallics are really good for interesting me, but not being... They're very versatile, they're very easy to use, they pair well with a lot of shades that I'm trying to go through, and I really, really like them, so I'm going to probably have to take extra care to use up every single deep metallic purple and navy blue as I go through my collection. They are not going to waste. Unlike black shades where I'm just like, even if I tried, I'm not going to enjoy using this. I'm not going to use it up in any type of quick manner. There's unlikely to be a time that I'm going to go into my collection and be like, oh no, I've reached a point where all of my black mattes are gone. What am I going to do? I went through a phase of being like, yes, I understand black mattes. And now I'm just like, I'd rather them be a dark shade of another color than just a straight black. Black has a purpose, it's just oftentimes I like it better when it's something else. I like this better when it's a dark purple. I would not like this look as much, I don't think, if I deepened the crease with black. Also probably because black has so much grayishness in most of the blacks I have, that even if you just add a little bit to try and blend out and deepen your crease, it's just not, it affects the other colors around it so much that I don't like it. When I have my two new shimmers, these two work really well together. Used them a couple times, and they're pairing well with my other Franken shadows, because I have, this bitch is my deep purple, also has a little bit of pan at the back. They're good things. They're things I want to use up. I am going to go into Star for my highlight, and we will hope for the best. I think it's going to pair well with the way the look is, but you never know, every once in a while something is not good. I think that'll do. That looks pretty to me. I do have to keep track of myself while I'm playing with this, because I will put too much on and then it will be a lot. I have learned, kind of, to use a small amount and make it not so stark on myself. But that also means I'm used to like Pink Heart and Blue Moon in there were very easy to just like build and build and build. This one, not so much. It's very strong and will be a very strong silver if I go overboard like I tend to do. So I have to keep track of myself. There was discussion of rain today, so I'm hoping that we got everything in while I still have some sunlight. I'm optimistic. I'm making rolls. I finally got my sourdough starter to a point where I can kind of use it to make breads and whatnot. So I'm making rolls that are going to turn out kind of like hamburger buns, I think. I'm excited. I made focaccia weekend before last? Yeah. Maybe last weekend. I made focaccia. It was awesome, other than I didn't pay attention to it, and it ended up, I spread the batter across too much surface area so it didn't rise as much, but it's still really good. Turned out quite yummy. Sorry, too much lip balm and it's like collecting in the corners and I can feel it. I have not picked lipstick yet. Hopefully I'll have a plan by the time we do my lashes. That's such a nice, I like it. Turned out awesome. I have some similar tones in the Cleana glitters and multi-chromes that I think it's gonna potentially be like a look I made that was a turquoisey green inner half and a shimmery brown outer half. I realized as I was doing that I have those shades in multiple palettes and multiple formulas, so I could do the same look out of a couple different brands. I still didn't finish doing it. I also have, I think I can do the same thing out of the Urban Decay Moondust palette, because it has that light green and like a bronzy brown glitter. I'd have to use other things to frame it because there are no mattes in that palette, but it's one of the ways I'm trying to justify things. If I really like a color combination and I want to do it a couple times, but I also hope that some of this stuff is going to be interesting for you and you wouldn't want to see me make the exact same look out of the exact same products multiple times in the same week. Try to see how similar it is with other products, and like, you know, maybe you didn't have one or two of the palettes that I made the look out of, but you have the third one, or you are inspired to pull out something that you have that I don't have that will do the same effect if you liked it, to be able to recreate it without feeling prompted or pressured to buy more makeup if you can do it out of what you have. I don't do as many straightforward reviews just as because I don't know. From buying stuff myself and seeing the variety of opinions on different products and formulas across the internet, I've gotten weird about suggesting most makeup. People have different skin concerns, primer concerns, aesthetic preferences, wear concerns. Like, once I have these primers on, almost all of my eyeshadows wear really well and stay all day, so I don't really have to worry about things fading. But if somebody is much more confident putting something over their bare skin and buys it because I talked about it and suggested it, and then they have a bunch of issues because our makeup wearing styles are so different, and it might not be a good formula to self-adhere just to dry skin, or maybe it sticks too much to like concealer primers instead of my set eyeshadow primer base, and you can't make a look out of it, I would feel bad if I accidentally duped somebody into buying something that's not good for them. So, my general anxiety does better with me having fun, using products, letting you guys see exactly how I applied them. If I ever get a better editing setup, then we can do something again with me taking different shots of the different looks just to see how the colors, you know, paired together and the different looks that I was able to create. But it's less when I'm thinking about making stuff of, oh, I gotta convince people how great this is. I'm like, I'm gonna just use it and tell them that I like it, but hopefully convey the formula and what I'm doing with it in a way that allows more people to just buy what they want without feeling pressure to buy a certain thing or feeling like I misrepresented an item. Anxiety. It makes all things very complicated. Oh, what lipstick do I want? I don't know. We used to have like a light purple lip gloss, and that would have been really nice. I have this one. I don't know if I want to use that. I used mugwort yesterday, so I shouldn't use that today. I will use one of my depotted lipsticks. This is Sake. I need to scoot you guys, sorry. Trying to get to my lip brushes back here. Hi, how you doing? Is it great? It's great. Okay. I'm gonna put this on, and then I have Optimism. I did more styling of my hair. This is third day hair. I think I'm finally getting the mix of products down. I tried mousse yesterday, and that was thinking it would like add some height to my roots. It did and it didn't. Like it added some, but it also made for a really weird texture. And since I'm not used to as many products being in my hair, I was not prepared for it. I've been spoiled by very well-behaving, straight, boring hair for a very long time, and not doing any heat styling or fancy things, that when I can't just run my hands through my hair, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'll accidentally rip things. It's a whole thing. I'm still so sad and nervous about Bite changing and not bringing back their bullets yet. Their bullet lipsticks were my favorite. And they were such a nice formula. These ones in the summer, they're not as good because they're very soft, whereas I ended up actually depotting a bunch of my minis because they weren't behaving very well in the heat. But since I didn't have any matching lip liners, it means I get to do this nice lip brush thing that basically gives it a nice, very crisp application, which I will ruin in a couple minutes by eating or drinking something that'll smudge it out of its lines, but Okay. Stop messing with it, Ellen. It'll be fine. Just leave it. So, that is the finished look. I think the eyes turned out awesome. I really, really like those tones of purple together. Hair stuff is getting better. I was able to kind of angle the ends. I dried it. It's not crunchy because I tried different products and I tried less of other products. I have Root Lifter coming in the mail eventually, and we'll see what happens then, because I still like, this is like no volume, but then again, that's my hair. My hair is straight and volumeless and overall pretty easy, and I'm trying to make it more complicated. I think they turned out really, really lovely together. I'm gonna go, let you guys get back to whatever you're doing. Try to stop myself from ripping off my nails and trying something else, because I have a bunch of nail inspiration running through my head, but also I put these on yesterday. I should let them have some fun before I fuck shit up some more. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully this gives you some good ideas about the texture and performance of these shades, and you don't feel pressured to buy stuff, because honestly most people nowadays can shop their stash and get very similar effects. So don't feel pressured to buy new shit unless you've really, 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 really been watching something, done all your research, proven that you don't have anything similar or comparable in your collection, you're not being driven by hype, you've done research, you've really looked into it, because you shouldn't feel pressured to buy stuff any days, let alone in the situation we're in, where a lot of people are out of work, underemployed, having a lot of surprise expenses, like having to have stuff shipped that you can't get from your store, higher medical expenses, just everything. So, stay safe, have a good time, do what's best for you, and I will see you next time. Bye!